All right. Hello. Hello. Sorry for the short delay. Um, had to get my stuff ready. I'm kind of like, as per usual, struggling with my back pen. So it took a bit longer to get everything ready. Whoops. Anyway. Okay. Should be good now, though. Should be ready. Should be fine. Let me just quickly check the audio. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, let me open the window too, actually. Now that I'm still at the point where we do some preparations. So, I hope you all had a very nice day thus far. Hope you are coming into this with new energy and fresh and determined to improve. Well, well. For today, actually, I feel like doing week 7 and finally trying some fan art. But like, I don't really have any memes in mind currently. Anything, because I haven't been following the girls recently. So in Hololive, I mean, So I'm not too sure what type of fan art to make. Maybe I'll make some Shrine Maiden Ina, casual, the standard procedure in a sense, I would say. Kind of fits the whole vibe. Or maybe, what about an armored up Cecilia? Full medieval German armor plating. Could be fun. And I would learn how to, draw medieval armor, which I've been intending to do anyway. And I'm kind of feeling like, I'm actually kind of feeling doing like that, something like that, Might be fun. We could also add an herb, for the extra spice in Cecilia's artwork or fan art, because like two non-European Europeans, right? Anyway, Exardian and like Immerheim, sorry. Well, anyway, fighting like the French, I mean, the bee Jews. I wonder if there's like an alternative like France, because I don't think there is, right? I mean, I know about, Joe's name being French, effectively meaning, gem. But gem, essentially like Koseki, right? And bijou, or however you pronounce that. Gem. Amazing. So we never forget a gem. Anyway, maybe I'll do that, huh? Let me see. I just want to like relax today. So I'm just gonna do what interests me. And I'm not interested right now in looking at reference, redrawing reference and correcting things. I'm not feeling that right now. So, how are we going to approach this, right? Like, we could. Let me see. Hmm. Hmm. What am I doing? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Kind of interested in these lines, but nothing comes to mind. I'm like trying to move like to a, how should I say this? To sort of mm, more concept art kind of style when I'm sketching things. And I don't know if I'm just trying to force myself into a mold, which doesn't really help me that much. Right, so. Oh no, okay. I kind of thought that the same brush stroke here perfectly, how to say, blends, but no, it doesn't actually. It was just an illusion, because this obviously doesn't, right? And I'm kind of like trying to, I really want to move to like some more textured brushes, you know, see how they work for me. I should probably also try like changing my like brush size more often, because usually when I'm drawing I don't exactly do that, So I'm kind of like interested in mechs for today, or I'm just gonna move and try and do some fan art. I'm not too sure, but maybe it would help before I do any of that to kind of talk a little bit about composition, how to arrange an image, you know, like how to do all of that stuff. I'm not too sure if I know all that much about it. So I'm kind of like debating if I should be trying to find some material to read up on in that specific like topic on stream, or if I should just talk about the general concepts I understand thus far. I don't know. I mean, if I understand the topic correctly, right? Composition is about basically where to or how to focus, right? The eyes of the viewer. So how do you get like, say, how does the placement of objects within the frame of your image, right, affect where the eyes of the viewer go, How does it affect the mood of the image? How does it affect the atmosphere, so to say, Does it help or break your, say, narrative? Does it help or break your characters? That sort of thing. So it's like, it's an more than anything, it's a narrative tool, I think. more than it being a technical aspect of art, which in a sense it is. But again, more than that, I think it is a narrative um, tool. It's supposed to help you focus or divert people's attention to and from certain aspects of your scenes, right? Of your story in that sense, then. So, like, I don't know. Exactly. Not too sure if that's a good summary, I guess, of what it is all about. Hmm. I'm kind of like trying to pull anything out about it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard some of the alignment rules, so to say, like if you don't know where to place your subjects, right? Then you could have something like the rule of thirds, right? So you split the canvas into like a big tic what's it called? Tic tac toe? No. Is it? Like where you place X's and O's or circles? I don't quite remember now. Basically the game people play on Ina's forehead. Ina's forehead game. I don't know. Interesting. I defeated myself. Hmm. Interesting. Anyway, and then you go ahead and say, place your subject to the left here. Something like that. I don't know. Or you place it up here. I don't know. Down here. I don't know really. I haven't. I have no idea about these things really. Now that I think about it, I feel like I don't know anything about composition. Composition. It kind of sounded Swedish, like a Swedish accent. Composition. It's just funny how Swedes or Norwegians, not so sure about the Danes or Danish people and the Netherlands, right? How their accent works. But Swedish and Norwegian sounds pretty fun or interesting. Just very unique when they speak English. I don't know. I don't know. So, let's see. What can we do here? What are we to do here? Wait, where's my... Huh? Where's my brush? The hell? Favorites. Why are you not here? Okay. I guess I'll remove you then. Okay. Well, apparently new brushes are put here, which kind of makes no sense. Because this disappeared earlier, then I removed this brush over here or down here, right? And it moved counterclockwise. Kind of confused how this like panel works. And I wish I had this just massive brush picking tool that you have in, is it the Photoshop or like Clip Studio? I'm not too certain about it, but I would kind of appreciate that a bit more. Though I have to say I have not looked into um, any plugins for Critter. So maybe it is out there. I just don't know about it. Maybe there's a lot of quality of life things that I would like the program to be able to do, and I just haven't found them yet since I didn't look. So I might have to do that today. We'll see. But I'll probably do it after stream. Not too certain about it yet. Anyway, I've been reading, which was kind of funny. Like I've been reading this sci-fi post-apocalyptic, like how to say, manga, right? And apparently I've been reading that for longer than Shiori has been in Hololive English, right? And turns out there's a character in that manga that has her name, the same name, Shiori. And whenever I get like a new chapter, because it takes very long for stuff to come out, right? Because like the releases take a long ass time, like the physical releases, right? Takes a very long time sometimes. I don't know why. And then, there's obviously no proper English translation. So, anyway. Why did I bring this up? I don't know. I just found it interesting that I've heard the name Shiori before, because I was pretty certain I didn't. But like these chapters that I've read have been like, this was like 2021 or something. So pretty dang long ago, apparently. I just find it funny because, kind of felt like I've forgotten everything I did, from COVID onwards up until recently. So I was pleasantly surprised that I've been reading this manga for that long. It's like how should I say, when you make it easier for stuff to remember by, say, telling a story about the subjects or constructing like a mental shortcut. I don't know what it's called in English when you do that. But essentially the manga is that, kind of reminder. Oh, yes, right. Okay, I've been reading this. Oh, yeah, I can remember that was at that time, and that's when I did this kind of stuff and these kind of things. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what I'm doing here in this frame. I'm just scribbling because I'm not really having many ideas that I truly want to realize, I guess you could say. But like, I mean, how exactly would I draw a, like, this is too upright, I think. Sometimes I feel like I completely forget how to draw. Which is funny, given that I draw every day. It's just like, feels counterproductive in a way, you know? Like that should be the opposite of what is happening. But sometimes, it just apparently isn't. So anyway, I mean, I could do some Enrico stuff, fan art maybe, but I don't know. I'm like growing tired, honestly. I'm growing tired of all the shenanigans in between the girls. Like specifically just the, how should I say this? English, please, do not fail me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the shenanigans of the girls themselves. Sorry, like I like the characters, you know? Like, not the Enrico characters, but their general characters, you know? Like Shiori, for example, or Herb, or I don't know, Ina, stuff like that, you know? Like the streaming characters, right? But sorry. So I like the streaming characters, right? Not so much the storyline behind Enrico or the dynamics between the girls. I don't like how gay they are all the time, which is a reason why I don't really watch Kiara. Like sometimes it's fun, and it's not like she's boring or anything, but I personally just, it's not my thing, you know? I don't find much interest in that, you know? So naturally, I'm not following too closely with what's happening on Enrico. Like, I don't think I've watched. But let me think before I say something wrong here. But if I remember correctly, Gura played Enrico the very first time around, and the second time I think she didn't. Or was she already graduating? I'm not too sure. It's a bit vague in my mind right now. But you know, I basically just watched Gura. She's my Oshi, if you want to say that. But again, I think I said that yesterday. I'm not really. I don't have the makings of a fan in that sense. You know. So, which doesn't mean I don't, you know, frequent certain people. But yeah, I don't know what I want to say with that. Something very valuable, I'm sure. I don't know. Hmm. Okay, let me stand up because I've been like sitting very weirdly here. We'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of actually interested in Cecilia, medieval armor suit Cecilia. You know, I kind of like going away from the whole, you know, skirt aesthetic, perhaps. You know, we'll see. The question is, how would I approach this? Like, we should probably still give her a spear, right? But let's say we do a sword here. Right. So obviously we kind of want to do that kind of deal. Like slashing at the viewer. Could be doing that. because I'm not, not that good at drawing, so I have to keep the subjects pretty contained. Otherwise, I'm not going to finish them, I think. I feel like. So we could do something like that, maybe. Not too sure how I feel about it, though. Especially with like a sword. Maybe we could make this the Lear's equivalent. You know, maybe this could be Lear's instead. Right. Though, would she wear a helmet? Possibly. I don't know anything about armor though, so we could make the ahoge from Liz part of her helmet decoration though. That would kind of go hard, I think. I kind of want to lean it towards um, like actual armor and sword designs. Maybe she does have, like, since she's a queen, right? Scarlet Queen. Perhaps that's her title as the lead of a mercenary guild or troop, Kind of like Griffith from Berserk, you know? And maybe she has a special sword. Maybe we'll lean a little bit into. Let me actually write that down. Towards fantastical or fantasy. Lean towards fantasy. Perhaps a Hoge as what am I doing? Can't write anymore. Not that I could really at any given time apparently. Deco, say yes, let's come up with the concept here. And I think the narrative is a good Liz as in herb. Fan art. Right. We go down here. Lean towards fantasy, Ahoga's helmet decoration. Let's say the Scarlet Queen. The Scarlet Queen. What would the mercenary guild be called? If she's the Scarlet Queen, right? We could do justice, but that's kind of, I don't know. It's a bit weird, I think. And while it would fit with the rest of her lore, I think we should name it differently. We could do Exardia. We could do something like Scarlet Queen. I think mercenary. Yeah, mercenary contractor kind of works. Because if we go for the, like, Royal Guard, I don't know. I mean, she could be a literal queen on the battlefield. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like the mercenary kind of fits better. Don't know why. Maybe I'm just hung up about it because I rewatched some of Berserk. I don't know. Either way, I feel like we're going to do that. Leader of mercenary. Yeah, we could. I mean, we could do some contemporary critique, right, at current world things, right? So we could make her leader of justice, a mercenary guild. So justice is for hire, essentially. Justice for everyone who has deep enough pockets, in a sense. We could do that. Could be interesting. Although also kind of cheap, not like it's anything original in that sense, you know. I don't know why I'm writing so poorly all of a sudden. What the... What is going on? Please write like a normal human being. Mercenary. Corps. Yeah, or something. Core. Band. Whatever. Mercenary band that come to play in your town. You know? The violin of death. They come to play in your town. Mercenary band. Alright, what else? What else? I think this slashing at the viewer might work out. Kind of feel like it could. I don't know. Could. Although maybe I'll do some other iterations. We'll see. We'll try it out. Kind of lean into fantasy. Lead of a mercenary band. What could we possibly do? What else could be important? Because like her, or so like her own sword, like the one in her current lore, is obviously way too big to be swung around in the settings. In the setting, the narrative. If I want to keep it a bit more grounded. I don't know why I'm writing so poorly. Is it the lack of texture on the tablet? Right. I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm getting smaller by the second. Narrative. Keep things grounded. I don't know. Yeah, I think that should be enough as like a short list of things I want to keep in mind here. What else? What else could I possibly do? Anything else I want to keep in mind? Not right now, really. So let's try some other iterations. See if anything, excites me particularly. Like I would want to do like a kind of, leadership thing, but I don't think I'm good enough. Like I could do, them standing somewhere on the hilltop or whatever, you know. Like I could do something like this. You know. Maybe the flag is a bit too short while also being a bit too big. I don't know. Just as an idea, you know, we could make her stand here, though the image would be very busy then at that point. And I mean, since they aren't 5, it's a bit difficult to position them unless we have Liz stand in the background and the other 3 rushing towards the camera in a sense. You know, we could do this, for example. Say, here we have Cecilia with her spear coming towards us or something. Right? Maybe this is Gigi. What would she do? Like, I understand the gauntlet design, and I understand that it's a current law, part of the current law, right? So I would like to take this over, but I don't think it would fit well onto a battlefield, you know? And so, yeah. I guess the composition would be, in a sense, triangular. Like these 3 would obviously be the focus point. So then in that sense, I don't know how interesting Liz would be at that point. It's like hardly a Liz fan art. Would be Justice fan art, but I don't know, not so much Liz. I'd have to do the same just note taking, I guess, for the other 3 to transform their designs into something more akin to a, you know, soldier or mercenary on the battlefield. So this might be too much work. It's interesting, certainly, and I kind of want to push myself and see how far I would get in this, with this, whatever. But like, what could I take? I mean, we could do a sort of morning star, you know, for Raora, because, you know, the cat theme maybe that could work. And we could, what would fit Gigi? I mean, obviously she's too scared to do anything, so if this is like a character, true to character fan art kind of thing, you know, it wouldn't fit anyway. I mean, none of them really would want to go to war, right? Since, as Crony would say, they unfortunately are women. Very unfortunately. I mean, a morning star maybe for Raora. Obviously a spear, slightly modified, or just a bog standard one. I don't know yet. I'd have to look at some spears and think of a design. And since we are kind of leaning towards the fantasy theme here, maybe this would be nice already. But let me just quickly leave you here for a moment. I'll be right back. Then we'll discuss some more. I just hope I'm actually not gonna like waste all my time, you know, and actually get to draw something. I want to start drawing. I don't just want to go back and redraw stuff I already did. Anyway, more on that later. I'll be back in a moment. All right. Sorry about the delay. Took a bit longer than expected, but I had a little thought. So maybe, you know, spear for Cecilia, which is pretty easy, right? So this is CC. We have C. Then we have Raura. Then we have GG, right? And back here, Herb. It's kind of funny how Kiara's nickname immediately gained traction for Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, right? Herb. Herb. Funny. Funny how that worked. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we give Raora like a battle axe. I don't know where we would be placing it. But yeah, I don't know, battle axe. Maybe we do the two-sided, you know, berserk battle axe kind of deal. You know, I've just recently found out that that's apparently a Swedish word, or the word has Swedish origin and means better, stronger. So it's kind of interesting how that works. Hmm. 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 Or maybe it's not. I mean, I don't know. I've seen it in a movie. Okay, I admit. I've seen it in like what was it? 28 years later, like when the Swedish guy joins the crew essentially for like 0.85 seconds. And maybe we give Gigi a sort of mallet or warhammer. 40k. I can't even draw that. What would a mallet look like? Basically just a cylinder, no? No, yes, maybe. I don't know though. This is I feel like this is way too much. Like I have yet to finish a singular like actual fan art piece, you know? So no, as fun as it is, thinking about this is not doable for me right now. Like, you know, sometimes you just have to be realistic about your own capabilities, and I don't think I'm able to do this yet. So, what else? What else if I don't like the number one here? Right? What else could we be doing? We could. Hmm. I mean, we could have her sit on a throne, but then it wouldn't work with, you know, the notes I took earlier. So that's probably gonna be a no-go. I don't know. I mean, no, no, let's not do that. If anything, maybe a tent. So we could do like I don't know, I kind of stick here. I don't know why I want to stick on that side. No clue. We could do, say, actually, maybe let's go like this. I don't know if this is a proper perspective grid or not. Kind of doesn't feel like it. Just repeating the motions, what I see other people do. I don't know if that's going to be helpful for me. No, probably not. So how would I make this work? Obviously the tent has boundaries, right? So, yes. Like, I don't want to make it too small. But I feel like the... Maybe she's like... What the hell? Studying the map table or something. I wonder if that was actually a thing back in the day. It has to be simple yet sturdy in construction. Because I would assume that they have to build all of that stuff on their own. Because who would be carrying a table around? Like, just think about the volume. That's just lost. It's kind of weird. At least some... I mean, they could take just the long boards with them. And then nail them together and take them apart. We could do something like this, right? Where she's effectively... It's a bit weird, a bit too much. This is a bit too much. All right. So she could be doing some studying here of the map, maybe a helmet over there. Like her helmet, you know, on the table. Whatever. Right. She could be leaning onto the table. Or she could stand upright and move a few things around or point at the table, I guess. I mean, I can imagine this, right? Because it's in my head, obviously. But I feel like my sketching here is terrible dog shit. You know? I don't know how useful that is to convey my idea to others. So I have to say I'm most interested in 1 and 3, though I would have to change a little bit of the perspective in 3. Bring everything maybe a bit closer. Yeah, draw more of the entire like commander tent or whatever you would call that. War leader, general tent, I don't know. Anything else? Anything else I would be interested in doing here? Maybe... Actually, let me put on my glove here for a moment. I don't know. I mean, hmm, nothing really comes to mind immediately. 'Cause I'm kind of locking into 1 and 3. What else could she be doing? I mean, there's a ton of things, obviously. But what would kind of fit her character? Hmm. I mean, we could have just gone the court route as well, where she's just some noble lady of a court somewhere, or perhaps a queen, or the king's consort. I don't know what the title actually is here in that regard. I think in English there is actually a queen, right? Yes, of course. Like a genuine, like, queen with the authority of a proper king, yes? Hmm. Okay, anyway, let's try doing something with one, I think. Yeah. I think I want to do something with one. Let's see. All right, this time it worked, apparently. Okay. Hmm. But filling this entire canvas? Like, Jesus, where would this even end up? This would be massive, no? But, I mean, the topic isn't that difficult to do anyway, at least in theory. So let me actually go back one further back. There we go. Go one above. Let's just do it like this. Can I please? Hello? There you go. Okay. And that would be massive, no? So we kind of want to have her here. Her arms somewhat here, right? The sword here. Actually, let me do the body first. Let's take the sword. Let's do the helmet. This canvas might be a bit too large, no? I mean, I don't know. Is it? I'm simply just not used to drawing anything this large. I kind of feel like the arms are a bit too far out. So let's put the sword down first. The grip. The pommel. How would you be holding this? Yes, if you're right-handed, you would hold it like this. Okay. Yes. Yes, of course. Okay. So I don't know much about swords or such things, but, hopefully just enough to make this kind of work. Actually, I'd have to rethink this. I have to. I feel like whenever I'm drawing something without guidance, in the sense of like direct reference to copy, I feel like I have to rush for some reason, which is very weird. I don't know why I do this. I don't think it's very useful. For obvious reasons, this would have to be much larger. Hmm. Maybe this is even too much of a wind-up, you know? Like, obviously you would want to look at your foe while doing this, not to the side like she is. Like, that's a very broad wind, like a very long wind-up and a very broad stroke, I feel like. Just trying to do the movement here. Yeah, I think this is too much. So let me delete that. So how could this look? Obviously, this is not helpful. Okay. Hmm. How would you draw this? Like, this feels a bit. Oh, I don't know what I clicked. Anyway, I hope nothing bad. Hope nothing bad. I think I saved. Control Shift S is probably what I clicked, yes. I wanted to just click Control Shift A. So, you know, I deselect everything basically. Okay, so I would say that this is where the arms would cross over. No, actually, it's her. It's her. It's further up. Further up. You would see more of the pommel from the front. You know, less of the sword side. Although I guess depending on how long it is, you know, you would see quite a bit of it. So yes. All right. Hmm. I guess this would be more like so, yes? I think. Hmm. And this would be a bit straighter here, I think. It would go. Like this is a bit more proper, I think. No? Maybe the sword's a bit off center here. Not doing the right things. I think that could be fine. Somewhat. I think maybe. Potentially. The bend in this line though is a bit unpleasant to look at. So yes. At least we'd have to express the three-dimensionality of the guard a bit more here. So have to be careful about that. You know? Maybe something like this. The blade again is looking wrong. Because I've drawn in the guard now. I definitely have to work on my like perspective skills. Does this work? Maybe? Maybe not? Kind of weird. Hard to say. The pommel should probably be a bit further to the right of the character. Something like this, maybe. Yes, I should have drawn through the form here and actually made more of a guideline. But I think this would at least work for the sword. It's like good enough in a sense, you know. This wouldn't be too much of a wind-up. This is certainly something you could be doing in battle, I think. Although, you know, I'm not like some... What's the sport called? HEMA? HEMA? I think, like... Historical... No, what is even the... What is it even a abbreviation of? Historical European Martial Arts. Okay, yes. Historical European Martial Arts. Alright. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I think this would work better. Why can't I... Oh, okay. I see. Would we do something like this, maybe? Like, we don't really have to see the sword too much. Though, I would Maybe not, actually. Maybe no. Maybe this works. Can I please... Hello? Oh, right. I didn't select anything. My bad. I mean, it could work. Okay. Let me get some reference here, actually, now. Because I think that would help me. Because I really don't know anything about drawing swords or armor. So maybe that will help us. All right. Some früheren artwork. Damn, it's looking nice. Interesting. Damn. Damn. That's one hell of a stylish frog. Damn. Damn. So much interesting stuff here. Okay. Anyway, let's see if I want to save anything from this. Not really. Not really. Okay, let's go. Armor. What the hell is this? As all armor is an abstraction, all fantasy armor, right, is an abstraction of actual historically accurate, you know, medieval armor, like, you know, general time period, you know, relative to what the specific cultures would have had, like, whatever. Anyway, let me try and actually find some historical armor. Okay, first thing I find is like some dog shit AI generation. Like, come on. Again, you can't make this shit up. Same fucking dog shit fantasy armor that I don't want to look at. Okay, now here we have German Knight, perhaps. What about the British? The British. The British. The British. The British. 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 Okay, that's not too bad. But I don't really need like a full armor thing, and I'm not trying to. You know what? I'll just take this full set of armor here. German, medieval, British, maybe, or English rather, not British, because that didn't exist for a long time, I feel like. Or did it? Wait, let me think. When was Britain, United Kingdom, right, actually founded? Anyway. Ooh, that's some nice armor. Although again, the fantasy dog shit I don't want right now. This is looking fine too, although I would like it if I could see more of the torso here. This looks like a knight or tournament armor. Not too sure. Like, I'm again, I'm not a professional like armor designer. Not at all. I barely know anything about it. Barely know anything about it. Just know that the woman didn't wear it. Just like, because there's so much noble lady knight armor things here. It's kind of weird. All of it AI generated, of course. I wonder if there's ever been like, have we found like texts or like actual armor that might or definitively was worn by females, like medieval armor, I mean, English, French, British, English, French, German, Italian, maybe Spanish, I don't know, Spanish, Espanol. Espanol. It's kind of weird. This is like a mix. What is this armor? The hell? It's not a proper full set. What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? What the hell? Alright, I kind of like this too, though. Let me save all of that to gesture. And actually open it up too. I don't need this right now. Okay, open image in new tab. Close it and open image in new tab. Is that even a proper human being? Kind of don't feel like it is. Yeah. Pretty sure it isn't. Oh. Some art breakdown of drawing armors. This mallet looks insane. The hell? If I'm correct, right? The English were red. The French were mostly blue-ish. Germans were like gold, yellow, I think, right? Mayhaps like black and gold. Spanish? I don't know. I feel like they had more things to worry about than fighting other European nations, so I don't know. Spanish. What did the Spanish in late or early medieval Europe look like? Like proper Spanish armor. Did they even have that? Or was it mostly Royal Armory of Madrid? Yes, okay, so they apparently did. But they don't look that much different. Or anything else you would see, I suppose, huh? Like, apparently there's a way to discern German armor from Italian armor. And where did the French make their own armor? Obviously, but to the extent where they have a specific style? Because I feel like that's the case for Italian armor. But I'm not that knowledgeable about it anyway, so I might just be making shit up from stuff I heard somewhere at some point. I blame Metatron. It's his fault. I'm certain about it. Alright, so let me see. Alright, I mean, I don't know if this is like English armor. This just looks like bog standard brigandine stuff. I wouldn't be able to tell apart who made this armor. I couldn't tell you if this is Nuremberg or like some Italian location. I don't know. There's like apparently quite a difference sometimes from town to town, depending on who made the armor. Okay. I think this might be fine. Let me see. Let me see. Late 15th century German armor. Full plate. Though we don't have to do that, you know. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a pose. For like someone swinging a sword. There's a bunch of stuff actually. Damn. That's some amazing gesture here. Okay. So many amazing artists. It's insane. It is insanity. Insanity. Grandma Berserk. Alright, okay. Whatever you say, Grandma. Whatever you say. Nothing really that would kind of fit the general pose. Actually, this might, but it's not what I want to draw. But maybe this is actually better. Maybe I change. Maybe I should change that, huh? Like, I feel like I'm not at the point where I can just come up with shit however I want and actually be able to finish it. I don't think I'm there yet, you know? But I certainly could draw the pose from reference and then transplant onto it the aspects that would make it a fan art piece, and it would make it my, fan art piece, I guess. So I might actually do this. Let me just projects, art, drawings, reference, characters. Let's just do temporary because I don't want to look for all that stuff. Yes. Perfect. I don't really need this, although it would be Tesset, Sabaton, Grieve, Pauline, Cuis, Fold, Lower Cannon, Lauter, Louter, Upper Cannon, Bevor, Chin Defense. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I kind of wanted some medieval helmets. Just some ideas here. Really, like actually real helmets would be very nice if I could have some, please. Not all of the EAEA. What? Like, how do you... I type in medieval European helmets, and the third suggestion is a woman wearing full plate armor without a helmet. It's like, are you trolling me, Pinterest, or are you just that retarded? What's happening? What the hell? What the hell? I kind of want to see like these highly decorated, you know, helmets. Some of them. See how they do it. But given given what is going on here with Pinterest and its search function, I might not have the luxury of finding such things, you know? I'd be better off just, I don't know, looking for some fan site or some enthusiasts about European history, specifically medieval period. But that would take days, I think. Scouring every museum, every European museum. This is kind of interesting. Who do this? Ooh, damn. Damn, I have to include this simply just because it looks so amazing. Studies. Oh, so this is a link to the artist, huh? Concept artist at Art Brew. Goof, goof, goof. I don't know. I like his art style. And how he uses soft colors. Damn. At some points it kind of looks blurry what he's drawing and painting and such. Hmm. Damn, he did a lot of League of Legends stuff apparently. Skins, reworks, if I see this correctly. Interesting, okay. Alright. It's nice to know. Let me just actually favorite this site here to find them again. Art reference, yes, thank you. Alright. Hmm. Okay. Alright. Let me get this image. We should be good now. Although I could use a sword. Medieval longswords. Interesting, okay, yeah. That's not a medieval longsword. What the hell? Come on. Are you serious? What's the sword? What's Aragon's sword again? From Lord of the Rings. I kind of forget the name. Yeah, that thing. First result, of course. Medieval longswords, and that's what I see. Unbelievable. Impossible. Impossible. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. Let's not do some. I'm kind of like. I'm like kind of like kind of like that. Dragging on. It's Geralt. Steel longsword. I don't know what's so hard to understand. I just want the bog standard longsword, I guess. I just want the real sword. So, you know, as much as possible. To not start copying the wrong things if I have to copy anything, right? Hmm. Actually, let me take this. Hmm. This is insane. This is insanity. I just want a real long sword. Come on. The only things I find are either like AI generated or have massive like watermarks on them. Which, like, come on. Not like I'm trying to sell someone a sword. Oh, that's Dark Souls 3, I think, right? Or maybe actually Elden Ring. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just take this here. Save image. Still haven't found or looked for image board kind of software. Embrace gauntlets. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know about that. I do not know about it. Hmm. I guess I could use this instead. Wouldn't really matter, I don't think. Hmm. Damn. Hmm. Okay, no, I'm fine. I'll just stick to this, otherwise I'll look up armors and swords for like the next 15 hours or something. Which isn't really practical at all whatsoever. Hmm. All right, let's get to drawing. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm stalling probably is what I want to say. I feel like I'm stalling. Guys, I'm stalling. So sorry about the stalling. All right, let's see what we can find here. Let's let's just pull up the images. Hi. Sorry. Projects, art, drawings. Let me draw. Temporary. Wait. I didn't put it into temporary? Alright, I put it into temporary under characters. Alright, I see. Okay. I have 4 images. Not necessarily good ones, you know. But I hope this will work. Alright. Actually, let's do it like this. Good. Then, how do I do this? Like, Actually, let me not import them like so. I think that's a bad move. Okay, we'll just go back then. Let me just get them as reference images. You know? So this is like the pose. This is what I want the sword to look like. I don't know, I just found this interesting. So maybe we'll make a sort of thing out of it, like the helmet. Maybe I'll think about that. I don't know. I just like the soft colors here, so maybe I'll take it as the shading for later on. This is probably going to be the pose, I think. Because if I'm being honest, I'm not sure I'm capable enough for much more than that, you know. So let's get going here. How should I actually start? With what brush? I mean, should I take something like this? It could be fun. Should I use this brush instead? Although that might be a bit more difficult. Actually, let's go up. Something like this. Because I kind of want to make this larger. Although this might be a bit too large now that I think about it, you know. Ouch. Legs hurting. Ay, 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 ay. I'm kind of thinking using this pose here on the right. Yeah. Using that pose. I'm feeling like zooming in a bit, essentially. Though I'm not too certain about it. Let's just get started. Not think too much, because I think there's like a decision paralysis that at some point sets in when you constantly doubt what you're trying to do. I actually think about this a bit more here. What kind of form do I want to use? Yeah, this is a different view angle now. So this works again. So I've been kind of neglecting the something like this maybe. I mean, that kind of looks wrong here. Why is my eraser so small? Maybe it isn't, and my canvas is just way too big. Let's actually get rid of this too for now. Let me just observe this for a bit here. I mean, we could copy it 1-to-1, or we could change it up a bit and have her wield the sword differently. Right? Not too certain about it, actually. Not too sure. We'll see. So actually, wait. Would be more like this, yes? So this is like the wrist, this part here, down there. Hmm. No, this is not right. Something more like this, maybe? I don't know why I draw so weird lines, you know? Like, why do they always bend like so, right? Always. They always bend like this. See? Always. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. Alright. I mean, this should be good enough for now. Just as an, like, idea here. See how well this could work. Like, obviously, we want the elbow in here. Maybe the shoulder is a bit too far back, actually. Or I push out the back a bit more on this side because of the posture. But maybe this is just kind of weird pose. Yeah. I could instead also do this, right? So let me see. Yeah, let me just stand up here. I feel like my leg nerves are being compressed in ways they're not supposed to. We could also do this, right? Where we effectively put the sword at the throat of the viewer, essentially. You know? That could be fun. Interesting in a way, I suppose. Is what I meant to say here. Hmm. Yeah, I already feel like I'm much more confident with my lines, though it doesn't necessarily help all that much. If your knowledge is as limited as mine. So, yeah. Suppose we could do something like this, yes? I don't know how accurate I want to be here already. You know? I feel like, for obvious reasons, at least the proportions should be right. So, I don't know. This arm might be a bit too small here. Though the shoulder's a bit weird. Don't really like that. Could make something like this work, yes. I'd have to draw less from her body. Might be easier too. Hmm. How large would the head be? Like this, maybe? This probably, yes. Now the issue though is that I don't really have space for the helmet design. So if I think about it, right, I do still want the helmet, though I suppose it's not as important. Still, it's a bit too large, I think. Given the details I still have to add, especially on the head. So, like, either way, I'm thinking about it. You know, don't think this is enough space. So, what happens if I just zoom out? What is this? What? Where does this circle come from, huh? What the? What the hell? Okay. I don't know where this circle is coming from, but I don't need it. Oh, right. I think I drew on the... Right. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Hmm. So more like something like this, perhaps? In terms of just size. Maybe a bit more to the left. Because I want to do the hair, or to the right rather, and I want to have the hair go somewhere over her left shoulder, perhaps. That could work. Oh, right. I have to just switch brushes here. Alright. I mean, this could look nice. Could look nice. Could be nice. Very much. Not disliking this at all. I suppose I just had to let go of trying to force everything on my own here. Whoops. You know? Like, honestly, I could have finished the fan art of Shiori, the few first attempts I had, if I had just, put down my pride, I suppose you could say, and taken a posture, a pose, or, just a picture as reference, and then put my own details on top of that, It's not like that's an uncommon practice either. It's like, I think everyone has this feeling like, you're working so hard on art and then you're like, and I still have to copy everything. Like, how is it that I can't just come up with that stuff? But I feel like it's a bit skewed, the view that people have in terms of what they can really accomplish on their own. And I might be wrong for that, but I feel like a lot of the videos people are seeing from others, like from artists doing speed paintings and such, is, artists doing this for 20 plus years. So it's like, okay, at what year were you even close to this good? The 18th or something? Like, I don't know, it's kind of... Okay, you know what? I should get some reference, now that I say it, for Liz. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. These colors inspire me. I like that. Let me... Let me get some reference for her head, mostly. Something about her eyes and hair. You know, because that's the most recognizable thing about the anime style, I think, when you're trying to go for likeness, you know? Herb with a beard. Herb beard. Beard. A beard. A beard? A beard. Anyway, I'll just go here. See what I can find. Which one could I do here? It's a bit difficult. Maybe this one? Let's see. Maybe... They are all like cut in a very poor manner for what the use I have. Or that for what I need the image, you know. So it's a bit... Please be patient. It is a bit weird. Maybe just her standard model turnaround. Let's see if I can find anything. I don't know why Pinterest is lagging so much, but it's insanity. Probably mining bitcoins on my PC right now. Okay, there's a turnaround of layers, which could help, though depending on how large the image is. It's not terrible, actually. Let me see if I can zoom in onto the eyes. Okay, no, not really. While it's not a bad turnaround, it doesn't have enough resolution to actually be able to zoom in on it. So, yeah. Hey, this is apparently official art from Covercore. Interesting. Okay. Very, very interesting. Maybe it's not. Because there's like a style difference here. And one of these images is shaded, the other isn't. Or rather, two aren't, the rest aren't. It's kind of weird. What the hell? Am I like tripping or something? Anyway. Elizabeth Rose Blood Flame head. And just one head. It kind of sounded wrong. Anyway. Head. Okay. That kind of works, apparently. Though still not quite what I want. Like I want a clear view of the ahoge, if that's possible. But I think I've seen enough of it right now, just trying to see this stuff. So maybe instead of head, let's do hair. Just want to get a feel for the volume. Hmm. Ah, man, let's see if this is helpful. This might not be a bad image, actually. Let's see. Okay. It's a bit too zoomed in. Let me just take this, actually. I should be fine here. Yeah, we'll just take this. Is this two-dimensional or not? Kind of looks 3D, but no, okay, I'm mistaken. This is an actual image. Like a piece of art, you know. This is someone else's art. Or illustration, rather. I think this should be fine. Let me just get this herb. Maybe this herb too. Alright. I kind of also like this herb. Just for the, like, colors and lighting, you know? I like this. So I'll take it too. It's like an idea board I'm building here. A sense like brainstorming. Ideas, fields, atmosphere, you know? That kind of deal. Hmm. Okay. Should be fun. Yeah. I'm wasting so much time, it's insane. But it is what it is, yeah? That's just how things are sometimes. Ball shaped. Search by hair pattern. Ball shaped. What? Protective. Like, what the hell are these filters? Terrible. Terrible. Like, actually insanely terrible. Alright, I'm getting distracted again. Let me close down all of this. I don't need all of that Pinterest stuff right now. Alright, so let's see. We have some herb. 3 herbs, actually. Reference images. So I really like the lighting. The lighting in here. Like, I really like the lighting and the colors. So I might have to steal that. And these are more so just for, you know, remembering how she generally looks like, seeing how much I want a copy of that. I'm gonna wait here. The artifacts. Oh, you can actually adjust this like an image board. Okay, it's interesting. Yep. Alright, although I might have to move this here actually. This two and this two. Because I'm like already at only 16% zoom. So I'm kind of like, you know, it's getting a bit hairy here. In terms of how far away I can draw. Although, given that I use the entire canvas, you know, this is not that bad actually. This might actually be good. Alright. So, let's move on. We're not doing a helmet because I think that would be counterproductive. We could do the hair. See how we get along on that. May actually go up a layer so I can separate that stuff. So, I mean, obviously, I kind of want to have this. So now the question is, Hmm. Okay, this is not really possible. Anyway, let's just try and get. Actually, this is too little, no? Too little hair. Maybe I shouldn't do this actually. Maybe I should put it down here. Background hair first. Hmm. I thought I smelled something burning. Hope I didn't. Like I've had this before, you know? I just smell something weird. I investigated. Suddenly, graphic card died. Or rather, PSU died and literally burned through a cable. So I had to throw the entire PSU at that point. Can't use that stuff. Can't use that stuff. Okay. I mean, I'm not a master at drawing anything. I'm not sure if this approach is gonna give me what I want, since I don't really know how to draw hair. I just so happen to know that I usually get lost in the details of stuff. So I kind of want to approach things slightly differently. I don't know. Maybe this is not good. Because it's like up until the shoulders, really. Let's see. I mean, hmm. Okay. It's kind of looking more like a comic can't communicate hairstyle. Like this bow to the side, you know? So I have to get rid of that because that's not exactly what I want. I'm kind of liking how this is like starting to look like hair already. Like, you know, these small, like, glints of, like, I don't know how to express this. Anyway, holy shit, guys. Is it weird to say that I'm kind of surprised how well this is starting to look? Is it like too much praise? I don't know. Is it? Is it not? I can't tell. So, I have to determine which part of her hair is in the front and which is in the back. I would say we put the left side behind her left shoulder and the right side slightly coming up in front. So we can basically get rid. Actually, no, not this much. This hair here, this hair here. This is also behind the form. Though I'm not too certain about, it staying anyway that way. There might still come some changes to her general form. I'm just glad I moved up a layer before I tried doing this, honestly. Although this might be a bit too much here. A bit too frilly, perhaps, her hair. I don't know yet. Maybe not. Hmm. Damn. Guys. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I don't know. This might actually be the first fan art piece I'm gonna finish. Although probably not today, because I'm still suffering standing around here. Although I've had it worse, I have to say honestly. Oh, whoops. There we go. It's a bit weird angling the brush just right, to get this line here, but it should be okay. I might have to, come in and change all of that again at some point. But I'm liking where this hair is going. I'm liking the brush I'm using. Let me go up a layer and try and paint in the sword. Actually, this might be too much. Yes, this could be fine. How do I turn this? There we go. Not quite. How do I do this? You see this? I'm not moving my hand here. This is the brush doing it on its own. This thing here. This is tilting me. See that? Yeah. You see that? My tablet has like either a dead spot or something, or like... Yeah, you see that? Okay. I always thought this was just at random. But apparently it's location based upon my tablet. Okay, that's a terrible point in time to figure that one out, because that's tilting me now. Okay, well, I guess I have to do it differently then. Just have to... do it differently. Yeah, see? Now it doesn't do it anymore. That's one hell of a terrible thing to discover. Although this line is, I think it's a bit too heavy, but it's not like we can't change that later, you know? Let me just put in some color here. Oy, the legs are kind of, So, I like doing, you know, the refining as you've seen in like a sort of reverse. Like I want to block in things and then erase. Because otherwise I feel like I'm going to get lost in the details and I don't want to do that, you know? So, while this isn't actually the color, maybe I should use the color to fill this in, huh? Like a sort of grayish silver. Yeah, I think that might be the best approach here, because this is just black. Actually, I want it to be somewhat of a blue tint, slight blue tint, yeah. This could work. In a way as like, not exactly a contrast. I don't know. I just feel it could work, you know? Although I would have to go for more like a turquoise color. But, you know, it's not that deep right now. Ugh, the legs are just incredible. And I've tried to, you know, look up why they are caused and how to fix it. But the things I did to try and do that, like the advice I took and the changes I made, didn't really help, as you can see. You know, so might have to spend some more time figuring this out. Because I don't think it's my machine. Like, I don't think it's the capabilities of my machine. Just can't believe it, really. What would it look like in turquoise? Like, somewhere like this? Because, like, Liz's hair is pretty much deep red, right? A deep, deep red. So, I guess it's more greenish, if you can see this, right? There's a slight tint of green in there. Yeah, so it's not as dark blue or like as bluish, it's a bit more green. So I guess I could use the sword as a sort of contrast, though we'll have to see how well that works, because like I do want it to shine. We'll have to figure it out, you know? So I'm not too certain about how to build this form, but let's try. I could use like a different shade of this to actually help me build shapes on top here. Also, I think hmm. Hmm. Does this work? And what, like, if I want to take this as a base color, I don't know. I mean, hmm, maybe, though probably not. Hmm. It did turn the handle a bit here, you know, if you look at it. So, I don't know. Let me sit down. Let me sit down a bit. I'm kind of full of energy right there. Right now, I find this so interesting. But maybe I should have put in the base color for the hair too, instead of just a black. Hmm. Though, I mean, you know, there's nothing stopping me from going back in. Ooh. Oof. Oof. Oh! I'm not sure if this is the perfect red yet. But the hair, for me at least, immediately came to life. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. Probably. So this might not be the most terrible approach there is, you know? Because it gives it like strands, because I'm painting over the black, which is working as a sort of shadow immediately. Because I'm, you know, again, painting over it. Though it's also, if I'm careful and I don't go too hard on how I lay in the color here, I can use the red already as a sort of highlight. And the mid-tone is basically the washed out version in between, right? That occurs naturally as a consequence of the fact that I've laid down a black first. So maybe this will work out. You know, if I'm not too crazy on where I put down the red. Okay, so I can actually work with this. I don't want to do this right now, though. So let's hope and see if I can actually undo all of this. Yes, okay. All right. Okay. Where else to go? Let me see. Let me actually go and pick a red. Right here. Oh, this is too little red. Too bright, smaller pink, you know? Like salmon. It's like a salmon red. In a sense. But I do like the more washed out look. So again, this is more a salmon red. I do like more of the washed out colors. You know? Hmm. Or maybe I'll just zoom in to get the shapes correct. Like I want to do the primary forms roughly correct, right? Although the zooming in doesn't really do anything for the size of the brush. Although I can certainly go in and do the, you know, general shapes here. I really enjoy doing this right now. I don't know why. I don't want as much color here. And if I put this on top, I do really like this, actually. Maybe I'll use this red. Let me save it. Let me switch to... how do I even copy this? Alright. It's roughly a polar opposite in terms of color. Roughly. Not perfectly, but you know. It's leaning towards the orange a bit more. Then we could go back in and do some highlights here and there, you know. I don't really know how to do highlights in here, so I'll have to see how other people do it. It's mostly like I think you have to imagine the hair when you're doing the highlights as a sort of sphere on top of your head, or rather just use the entire head as a sphere plus the hair. And then depending on where the light is coming from, you're basically like maybe doing this sort of thing, you know. I don't know, man. This is not really the hair I want to do here, but I think the idea is roughly correct here. Anyway, I don't want to lay in the red yet, although I have found some nice candidates. So let me actually go back and save this red too, because I feel like this works fine, and I don't really need, I don't think at least, don't really need a darker of these two. So let me do some refinement on the armor here. So I don't want to give her her usual design. Something more of what she could be wearing actually waging war or fighting for a prolonged period, you know. Something else here. Not too certain I want to give her her, you know, sword. I don't think so. No. Not gonna give her thorn. And I'm not gonna have her wear her usual attire. I want to lean more towards this kind of style, but actually, didn't I get any plate armor? Apparently not. Didn't get any reference for plate armor. Or brigandine, whatever it's called. You know, the leather, riveted leather armor, basically. where you have a strong piece of leather and then you have metal pieces riveted into the armor. I'll show you what I mean. Something like that. Or maybe we'll go for something a bit more ornamental, like proper English armor here. Sometimes has actually, I found this one guy. This looks like English armor, actually. Yeah. This is English armor, I think. Because at least it has the heraldry. Is that the word? Though might be a bit difficult to pull this off. Because I don't know how to, you know. So maybe she doesn't receive British armor or English armor. I don't want fantastical armors yet. Like, I don't really want to lean too much into that at this point in time. Let me see. What can we do here with the drunken sailor? What can we do with the drunken sailor? What can we do with the drunken sailor? Okay, actually, let me get this one. This kind of looks nice. There's some art. Studded leather, breastplate, padded armor, scale mail, ring mail, chain mail, splint, half plate. What about full plate? Oh, this is like for a D&D campaign, apparently. Okay. Anyway. This gentleman is looking very fine. I'm thinking this is like some gothic full plate. Kind of looks German, but I don't know, you know. So like late medieval full plate armor is what this looks like. Oh, this is also a very fine sir. Ooh, and some art. All right. Let's take this fine gentleman. I think this might actually be enough. Like I kind of want to lean on to this. I'll show you what I mean. So actually, let's make this smaller. Let's make this a bit larger. All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, so usual plate armor is very bright. It's metal, right? So, but I do kind of want to give Liz more than just her red hair, you know? And we still have to have space for her little flame, maybe. Where does it actually originate from, the flame here? Is it just there? Is it on top of the skin? Does she have like a hole in there? You know, that kind of deal. Like, anyway, let me get rid of the hair for a second. And just see how far we can go here. Oh, this is not gonna be... Okay, this kind of looks like exactly like the background, you see? Oh, that's a no-go. That's a big no-go. It's too grayish. I guess that's the issue of doing this kind of stuff. Hmm. Although this is mostly a consequence of just the light. Hmm. Maybe I'll just go a bit darker. This is more like white. Like good silver. What's a good silver color? Like actually. A good shade of silver. Oh, something like this. This hardly works as a base color. Hmm. Maybe this? Would this work as a base color? I don't think so. Hmm. No, I don't think this would actually work as a base color that well. But everything darker, unfortunately, looks exactly like the background. So, I have to change the background color, no? Hmm. I mean, I suppose I could have done that before anyway. Hmm. Okay, I kind of want... Hmm. An image of like a... What do you call this? Hmm. Hmm. Like there's a German word for this specific type of grassland, I guess. Maybe that's the English word already? Grassland? Grassland? Hmm. Hmm. Kind of want to have some reference for that. Maybe we'll just do a regular blue sky. Damn. Let's see. Let's see if we can find some interesting god rays. Like I kind of want to do some dramatic lighting here, but I don't know if I'm good enough for that. Though this is kind of what I want. I wouldn't mind it, the background being like a type of forest, you know? Okay, this is giving me ideas. I don't dislike this. Okay, that's a bit... Hmm. Hmm. Let's save this to gesture for now. Let me see. I'm kind of enjoying this. This is pretty much AI generated, no? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. 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 Maybe even to the point where I won't even draw the face, huh? Like we could, for example, let me go a layer above here. Let me pick some interesting. Maybe more something like this. What could work out? We could make the light source come from here over the sword or bounce off of the sword, you know, and essentially make it so that we only see the silhouette of her hair, and like all of this would be basically just her silhouette. We would hardly see anything because we are blinded basically by the light to an extent. So I would want to put in some armor on this side that you could see, because this would be the underside, right? Where the light doesn't fall, really. So some part in here, some part in there. But before I think about these kind of things, I should do something about the background color. Let me just pick. Should we do something like this? This might be a bit too much, actually. We could just also go for a clear sky, you know? Although I don't know, I mean... Despite this being the background, it certainly gives a lot of blue. Like, there's a lot of bleed through here. I feel like this color isn't as thick as I thought it is. You know? Ooh. Just heard the lag, you know? Because the music just started. Damn. No, the blue is too much. I want like more earthy tones, so I think we're going to go for a kind of forest background. We just get a black in here. Actually, let's go red somewhere here. Almost black, but not really. It could be a bit darker though. Guess it doesn't quite work with this color. Or with this brush. I guess this is fine. So, since we are looking up at her, we would basically... Let me try and get this. Okay, let me see this. So, we would basically have and only see either the canopies. Is that the right word? Like the crown of the tree, in a sense. We would see... Actually, let me make these trees a bit smaller, maybe. I'm not going to go the extra mile and actually look up, okay, what trees grow in England. That's not going to happen. I can tell you that much right now. I'm not going to go that far. Like, no, not yet. Not crazy. I kind of want to just, you know, just get any fan art piece done So yeah, likely not gonna be doing that too much. You know, crazy ideas. Oh yeah, wait, actually, shouldn't I make... Wait. So the brush strokes for the trunk of the tree, right? I think they should be straight. Not so much the brush strokes for the branches of the trees, because the bark, you know, actually coils around, which is kind of funny. Like, why doesn't it do that for the tree trunk as well? You know? Maybe it doesn't. I'm just kind of stupid. I don't know. Could all be the case. Yes, we just want some larger trees, and we want to make sure that we go smaller here. So the tree should probably start somewhere here. Let me actually get rid of all of this. Oh, whoops. There we go. All right, so since we're looking up at her, I'd imagine... Actually, let's start in the background. What do we see in the background? I kind of want to do this for... is it shape language or composition? I don't know. I want this kind of like shape going on throughout the forest here. You know? This kind of thing. So what trees do we have in this? What trees do we have in this? In this forest. You know? Whoops. So maybe I should be... Maybe I should just lie down the general perspective, because this is basically just a long, like, corridor, right? Just a corridor of trees. The question is, how do I do this? Like, I've never drawn really any backgrounds. So, how do I do this? How do I approach this? How do I approach this? I mean, I have to get the horizon line in anyway. But let me see, where would that be? Where's the horizon line in this image? Somewhere like here, maybe? Actually, maybe further down. Maybe it's somewhere like here. I feel like the horizon line would be somewhere like here, yes? Let me just try and figure something out here. Just want to keep in mind that as we go further back, the colors get lighter and lighter. So there's less and less color, although in this case it wouldn't be that noticeable because the trees aren't that far away. But how do you... Actually, this wouldn't be the horizon line then at that point, no? Because I'm drawing further. So the horizon line is exactly that. Right? Yes, 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 yes. So the horizon line would be further up. A lot further up. But what do you see? Let me look at some images here and how they do it. Hmm. Let me look at some forest. Because I'm not gonna improve in here. Okay, so this is the horizon line, this is the horizon line, this is the horizon line. I'm kind of having... Okay, this is more what I want, but I'm having trouble imagining how the forest would change, because we are basically looking at Liz from below, right? We are looking at her from below, although not by that much, you know. It would still be enough to obviously change how we would view the forest in the background. So how do I make that work? Like, actually, I mean, I could just... How should I say this? Mm. Could just draw a regular background here, then try and shift it down. So like actually just draw a few trees and then just... Yeah. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this. So actually let me get this image, because I think that's a good reference point. Kind of want to keep this in mind. See if I can make much or anything out of it. Reference image, please. Close that. So... where do we put this? Alright, maybe if we change spots. Okay. So this as a background, maybe? In a sense, not one-to-one, since I have to shift the perspective, I think. Let me see. Alright. There we go. So the horizon line would be very low, right? Since we are looking up. I think that's the issue. I didn't quite understand horizon lines yet. I feel like, you know? Like this would be very far away, no? This would be rather close. Although it doesn't have to be perfectly close, you know? I feel like maybe this horizon line is a bit too too small. Like the horizon here is obviously on that side. On that height, roughly. So roughly around here, right? This is where the horizon line in the image would be. And I think it could work, I guess. Hmm. You know what? Let's not do it in too much of a complicated way. I should focus on limiting the information coming in so I can actually focus on learning the important stuff. So we'll just say this. Roughly, it's where we are. How does this work here? Okay. Let me start in the back actually. Let me try and see if I can actually make this work. Because I don't think I can. Because again, I've never really done this. It just ends up being a bunch of like twigs. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. How do you draw this? How do you approach drawing this? I can't imagine. Oh, kind of failing at the background, but I think we can ignore that for a bit longer. We can ignore the background for a little bit longer, I think. I mean, first of all, since the subject is this close, how much would we actually need? You know? No, I don't. No, I'm not gonna flee. No. Let's go. Let's go back on this. Try it from a different approach. If I can't make sense of the horizon line in this example, I'll just try starting from the top then. You know? I'll just start by, let me change the brush here. This is not exactly what I want. Let me see if there's some more interesting texture here. Something like a sponge of sorts. Something very dotted. I don't know. Not this, not that either. What about this? Not my preference here. What shall I do? Is that grass? Is that a grass texture on a brush? I think it is. Okay, that's interesting. I like some of these textures, but I can't find what I want. So I'll just have to do it however it works. Hmm. Does this work? What am I doing here? Anyway, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot to talk about for today other than commenting on my immediate wrongdoings in art. Which, now that I think about it, might not be the best approach to making this watchable in any meaningful sense, you know? Because perhaps you just want some background noise while you are drawing yourself, right? Or just some mild entertainment, which unfortunately I can't really provide in this manner right now. Hmm. Either way, I mean, I found a pretty nice tea, still on a good tea hunt. I know, kind of a crime as a tea drinker to try and draw the scarlet anti-tea drinking queen. I still find it funny. And it's not like tea is my most favorite thing to drink, but you know, it's good enough, and I at least can control the sugar amounts because I really need to lose weight. This is insanity. So, you know, unfortunately, I can't really do the Elizabeth Rose Blood Flame diet consisting of 5 sodas. No. It's like the Yasmin Gold diet in a sense, you know. Which I damn, how do they do it? Oh well. I mean I can imagine, but still, you know. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought. Should have probably done some studies beforehand on or about trees, backgrounds in general, but it's fun. It's okay. Hmm. How to make this work? Ouch. My leg. Although I could keep going like mentally, I'm feeling pretty exhausted physically, you know? and my legs are not gonna enjoy this all that much longer, the sitting on this chair. Though I have to say, it kind of gotten better. Like, it was a lot worse when I just started out streaming. Like, holy hell. Or rather, when I started doing these, you know. All right. Hmm. 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 Don't dislike this tree. But obviously, I started incorrectly, I think. Because, like, back to front, right? I mean, I could still just make a new layer and just put in different levels of distance in terms of trees. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Guys, I haven't gotten too far for today, but I can't say I'm disliking it. Hmm. Though the trees would probably have to go a bit further down. Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to remember that. All right. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, since it's the 50th day, right? Wait, or was it today? Am I stupid? Ooh. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. We'll see. Hmm. 50th day, yes. So, week in review was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, including today. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. Sorry. Right? Wait. 7 videos. No. 6 videos, actually. I think I miss. Oh, I didn't. Day 43, day 44, day 45, 46. So, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. From 3 to 9 is 6. Mathematics sometimes is destroying my brain. Anyway, I think tomorrow is week in review, and yeah, I'll probably cut it short. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about, if I'm being honest. So I might skip it. You'll see in the title. Um, although rather abrupt, I'll go ahead and end it here for today. Background can go a bit, but anyway. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you learned something. I don't know what that could be. Maybe that sometimes you just have to start, and risk something. Because, what's the saying? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, perhaps that. I don't know. We'll see. I hope this to be a lesson in perseverance too, because I do intend to finish this. I hope I pull through, or rather I will pull through. It's going to take a while. We'll see how long. And yeah, hope you stick with me, or just, turn up once in a while. Again. Anyway, take care of yourselves very much. Please take care of yourselves. Kiss your loved ones. And I don't know. Nothing else really comes to mind. Yes, enjoy the girls' streams if you can. Get your mind off of things. Relaxation, a very important part of any endeavor. Anyway, I think I said everything. Have a nice rest of your day, or beginning of your day, whatever it may be. Either way, yeah, I think I've said this a few times now. It applies either way, whether it's morning or night. Have a nice rest of your day anyway. And I'll probably see you next time.